Hello, I'm live. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Live with Georgia. Saturday night, 6 p.m. Tarot, sometimes guided meditations, definitely charity. We give 30% of all the proceeds of all the money that you pay for tarot reading tonight in exchange for a reading for your one question. 30% goes to Arunachala Animal Sanctuary in Tiruvinamali in India. They help animals, taking them off the streets and basically heal them when they're feeling sick and poorly, and they find adopters for them. So that's really good. And we also learn how to read the tarot. Woohoo! Yay! Learning how to read the tarot. They're upside down. Here they are. Now they're upside down. They're right side up. So do I read upside down tarot? And what does it mean to read upside down tarot? Now, that was something that I was due to talk about in my tips and tricks today in my email. So I send out an email every week, and today I didn't get round to it. I'm so sorry. It's almost ready to go, and it'll probably go after this live or tomorrow morning. So if you're interested in what it means to read cards upright or upside down, and that one seemed to be upside down, get yourself subscribed onto my email list, and I'm going to put some information in here. So whoever's on here, let me know that you're here. Say hello. Thank you for being here. Welcome. As always, I hope you know I'm here for entertainment purposes only. I'm reading the tarot, and I don't predict the future, but what I do is I read the story that the cards tell, because every card is a picture, and a picture tells 1,000 words, and that's really true. And because we all have energy, and we all are vibrating with energy, and energy interacts with energy, and if you learn and have the sort of maybe willingness and desire to learn how to read that energy, then you can pick up information, and the cards help you by your bouncing. What you're doing is you're looking at the card and you're picking up on clues that are vibrating in the energy. So that's how the readings happen. So there's nothing very secretive or occult about it. It's actually sort of plain physics, if you believe in energy and that we're all energy. Hello, Jennifer. Hi. Jennifer, so good to see you. Adele, hello. Oh, thank you, Adele. I feel beautiful. Although, if you can all see, I've got this, I spent some time in the sun with my children. We've been going to the beach, and I was wearing a mask at the beach. So the good thing about masks is that they actually protect you from the sun. So I'm burnt on my forehead and on my chest. It's too funny. I have the classic mask suntan. Jennifer, hi. Hey, hello. You'll have to remind me of your name. I'm so sorry. Colleen, welcome. Thanks, everybody, for coming. This is so awesome. And thanks for commenting, because I could see that there were some people here, but I didn't know who they were. So I just wanted to sort of give people a very overview of my disclaimer, and you can go to my website, georgiamarantos.com, and click on the disclaimer tab to read the full disclaimer. But essentially, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a mental health professional, a therapist, a nurse, etc., not a lawyer, a financial advisor. And so the information that we exchange is really just one of information, entertainment. And if you really need somebody's help, then I would highly recommend you seek a professional to get that help. And what the cards do, because we do actually touch on subjects such as career, finances, relationships, and these are heavy topics, people's lives, our lives, I should say. It's not other people's, this includes me, because I read the tarot for myself, and I also get readings for myself, and they help give me clarity. And I recently posted on Facebook, I should say that I'm on Facebook as at georgiamarantos 3, and you can find my public page if you just put in the search bar Georgia Marantos. And I was saying that one of the main reasons that I go to get a tarot reading is so that I can get clarity around something, because when I'm feeling highly emotive about anything in my life, it's just that emotion clouds my thoughts, and it certainly clouds my intuition. So that I'm not usually able to kind of think, okay, intuitively, once I connect with my heart, where do I go from here? Because your thoughts can keep you in a loop. And especially if thoughts and worries, start sort of feeding off each other, then you're just going down the road of kind of misery and suffering. And I'm really beginning to believe that our thoughts create all of our suffering and all of our stress. And, you know, we deserve to spend time looking at them and choosing the ones that make us feel better. And that's what I think a tarot reading does. I feel a tarot reading can actually help you choose which thoughts you want to engage in and be with, and they make you feel better, right? Bring clarity. Hi, Marlene. Thank you so much, Marlene. Awesome. So good to see you. Adele, you did the payment. Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Let me know what your question is. I have some little notes that I post here, and while Adele is posting her question, as usual, 30% of all proceeds tonight go to charity, and the charity of the month of August is Arunachala Animal Sanctuary, so that's good. And we've been collecting money, and very soon I'll be announcing how much we've collected over the month. I've now gone into notes, and it's a whole new note system here. I don't know if anyone has downloaded the latest operating system on Apple, but I did that, and I'm experiencing so many problems with it. So I don't seem to be able to open up notes. I may have lost them. Yeah. What's new? Oh, continue. Here we go. Oh, we found it. There we go. Turn on iCloud. That's all right. Here we go. Welcome to Live with Georgia. Yay! If you plan on getting a reading, have a look at my disclaimer. So this is me cutting and pasting while Adele tells me what her question is. Daily aromatherapy. Awesome. That's Linda Drost. Linda, is this your channel on YouTube? Wonderful. So friends, my friend Linda Drost, who is an aromatherapist and has her own store on Etsy, has her own YouTube channel. Wonderful, right? And so please go have a look at her channel, click subscribe, say hello, like any videos. Apparently the YouTube algorithm is based on, you know, how many people like the videos in one particular moment. Oh, I see I've got a bit of a lag. So can people hear me? Because I'm experiencing a bit of a lag, and I'm wondering if I should log off and log back on. So let me know if this is troubling anybody else other than me. So Adele says, I'm thinking about doing something in the next few days, but unsure if it's my ego telling me to do it or if I'm being guided to do it. I would love some clarity around it. And is there anything I need? Okay, I'm so glad people are letting me know that they can hear me. I'm getting a lag so there's a lag in my internet between what it's showing me on the video as I'm speaking. So it's just a couple of seconds lag, but as long as people can hear me and we're engaging and I can read, you know, the comments, then we're still good to go. Okay. So for the other people who want to know where to make a payment, I'm just going to put that up and then I'll jump into your question. So for credit cards, if you want to pay by credit card, you go to my website. You just go to georgiamarantos.com and go to the Saturday live show reading, which is $10. And then if you want to pay by PayPal or Zelle, right, this is sort of instant bank transfer. Oh, did that work? So it's essentially the same email, georgiamarantos@gmail.com. That's both for PayPal and Zelle. And it should work. I don't think, maybe the PayPal link is a little funky. So if you have any difficulty there, just go into your PayPal account and use my email, georgiamarantos@gmail.com. Wonderful. So let me know if anyone's having any issues there. And I think the lag has gone. We're getting clear reception here. Wonderful. Oh my goodness. How did I forget? 100 subscribers. Yay! My channel got 100 subscribers. I want to thank everybody who's subscribing from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. 100 subscribers means that I get my own little sort of name after the youtube.com. And it seems so silly for it to be significant, but it actually matters when you're posting on Facebook, you know, how many letters. Do you know how sometimes those YouTube channels have very long, at least mine did. It had, like, you know, the whole alphabet following youtube.com, and you had to click on that specific link. Now people can, you know, it's youtube.com /C, and then it's just my name. So it's just super easy. And so 100 subscribers has made my life a little bit easier when I'm posting things. So I want to thank everybody for being on and subscribing. It really means the world to me. Thank you so much. We're having fun. My husband took 4 days off, and I was like, well, I'm still going to go live. I'm still going to live. I imagined that maybe we would have gone away with the kids somewhere. And if we had, I'd be like chugging along. I'd be bringing along all these lights and extra microphones and bibs and bobs, because I'd be like, well, let's go live wherever we are. Hey, hi. Oh, is this Mary? Hello, MBM. I was so hoping you'd come tonight. Hi, Georgia. I did finally email you about what I won. You just did a little while ago. Oh, I didn't see it. Maybe I'll check my spam. I'm so sorry, Mary. I still have it for you. So Mary won a sacred mantra art. So I want to show people what this is. So this is an example. I hope this shows. And so this is a sacred mantra that I've written, and then this is a sort of a watercolor swish where I'll sort of swish it all on the outside, and I might put, an Om symbol, or it really matters what you want. So if you tell me you like flowers, and I paint these up and they're custom made, and it's just one. So for example, a friend of mine loves the Om Aham Brahmahashmi Namaha, which is a Brahma mantra. And so we have the Om symbol and the O and the M here, right? And, these are made with watercolor, and you can frame them and put them up, and it just has that sacred vibration coming through your home. Here's another one for a friend. See, I use these metallic paints sometimes, and I just realized how wonky that circle is. I'll probably make another one of these. This one's yours, Linda. They haven't quite made it into the mail just as yet. Oh, here's another one. I was just doing, this one, I'm not sending this one away. That was just a little practice. Another one, these beautiful colors, and you got these metallic colors coming through. Oh, here's a lovely simple one. Sometimes simple is best, right? And so this is what Mary won. So Mary, could you please, Rebecca, hello, Fran, hi. Fran, I'm going to get my husband and I, we're going to talk to you probably tomorrow, so we'll give you a call. Yeah, it's a big deal, says Jennifer. 100 subscribers is a big deal. Yay! Thank you so much to everybody here. And Adele, I still have the cards mixing for your question. Colleen says, all good here. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Colleen, for letting me know. Rebecca's here. Yay! Hi. So, Mary, I haven't responded to you, so don't look for an email from me. I'm going to try to find yours, but can you please email me again? And then it's georgiamarantos@gmail.com, and then I will get what is your favorite color, what your mantra is. Another friend of mine who I've just started hers, or I'm about to start hers actually, she wanted a mantra that says, you can have a mantra of anything. I am love, I am beauty, I am healthy. Hers is every day and in every way I am feeling, I can't even remember what she wrote, but it's like in every day, in every way, I am feeling awesome. I am feeling healthier and happier. Stephanie says she's watching on YouTube. Yay! Where is she? Hi, Stephanie. I missed you. So some people can come on and comment, and sometimes they can't. She's letting me know via. That's awesome. Thanks, Stephanie. Hello. My friend Stephanie Wild goes live every day on Facebook. You can catch her on Reverend Wild, her page, and she reads the tarot. She came, actually, this was a class that I had in person back in the day when we were doing things in person. I'm laughing. I've been online for a little while, but I think COVID and, the pandemic has really pushed us all into doing things online. And, for some, it's actually much better. And certainly for me, working online, it means everything, because it means that I don't have to leave my family, and I can organize my work life around just having the time to do this. And I'm super grateful that I can work over the internet. I do 30, 60, 90-minute readings. I wanted to say, that when I'm reading for you and we're doing one-on-one, we bring a lot of the healing through. So if you're coming with particular issues or you're wondering how come this thing isn't working out, we sit and we connect with spirit and we connect with the energy of spirit, and that brings through just exactly what you need. I mean, I'm just so grateful because, you know, it's important for me to remember that it's not me doing, you know, it's almost like the energy and the connection to source when you're with somebody helps both of us connect. And then when we're both connecting to source because the intention is there and the spirit is high, then we're creating something beautiful. And when we're creating something beautiful, the only sort of outcome is something good, right? And then when we concentrate on that thing that is good, then we end up creating the good for ourselves. And so that's the whole point, right? That we're using what we're learning. So we're not just addicted to getting a reading, right? What we're doing is we're learning something about ourselves. We're using that energy and then we're propelling ourselves forward, like we're getting kind of like a motor running, right? Because if we're just going to a reader and we're just getting readings from them, then we're always going to be addicted to somebody else telling us something, right? So what we want to do is we want to ride on that energy, and then we want to use that energy to either start connecting with ourselves at other times, or we pick up the cards and we start doing it for ourselves, right? We start reading for ourselves. So for everybody who is learning how to read, the Bible, which I have in some of my early videos, I haven't repeated these, but maybe I should. Rachel Pollack, 78 Degrees of Wisdom, fantastic read, dense book. Holistic Tarot is probably for the more serious tarot reader, by Benabel Wen. I don't have that, but this is by Rachel Pollack. There's her name. She's been around for a long time. And I recommend the Arthur, the Rider-Waite system, because it's just very easy to follow, has a skeletal system, and is probably the most widely used tarot. There are some other ones, the Thot Tarot, Thot. And so here we go. We're going to pick a card for Adele. I feel like I stopped somewhere in mid-thought somewhere. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for my subscribers. Here we go. This is for Adele. Adele, I've picked the 10 of Swords. Shelley. Okay, Shelley, wonderful. You're on the fence, so we've got some questions coming in, which is super. Kay, hello. Welcome, Kay. Super happy to have you here. All right. Now I'm up on Adele's question. I'm thinking about doing something in the next few days, but unsure if it's my ego telling me to do it or if I'm being guided to do it. So I just pulled one card now. So can I just say that this card to me immediately says that all of those doubts, you know, so when we go, why can't we tap into our own intuition? So I think I was talking about this a little earlier. We can't tap into our intuition when we're either in our sort of feeling state, or if we're constantly in our conscious mind state. So to tap into our intuition, we need to quieten the mind of thoughts, and we also need to quiet our feelings down, right? So we need to deal with whatever feelings are there. We need to allow them to be here. And, you know, feelings do this, right? Anyone who's ever experienced a panic, that's what it is. There's a rising, and then there's a falling. And it feels horrible, but it goes. So any feeling, when you think about it, you have it and then it goes. And apparently, if we don't ever milk that feeling, i.e., let's say we're angry and then we start thinking angry thoughts, well, those angry thoughts will continue the anger, making it last longer. But if we weren't to ever milk the feelings with any thoughts, or for example, panic, right? When we're panicked, what happens is our thoughts start saying, oh my God, something bad's going to happen. Oh my God, I'm going to die. Oh my God, I can't breathe. So the thoughts are propelling the anxiety going higher and higher and higher. So if we weren't to attach those thoughts to the feeling, right, then the feeling of anxiety would last 90 seconds. 90 seconds. That's a minute and a half. I mean, we can sit here in silence for a minute and a half. It's actually longer than you think, but way shorter than it really has to ever be, right? When we're experiencing these big emotions. So if we could like not do what we normally do, we sort of cut it at the knees and then we wouldn't have this massive reaction. I think I'm getting this information now and I'm thinking, this is brilliant. Okay, I need to put this into practice. The information that comes through is super important. Obviously, I'm talking about this for you too, but for everybody. So here, this is the thinking mind that's being put to rest. Why? Why is it put to rest? Because this guy is pretty much flat on his stomach. He's not thinking anymore. This is the end of thought. So I just want to say that as a starting off, and we're going to say, should you do this course or not? That's a yes and no question, right? This is the, should you do the Karnak initiation or not? So what we're going to do is we're going to ask now for a yes and no. Sometimes it's very clear, and other times we have to tell a story. Should you do the Karnak initiation or not? Well, these cards are rushing forward. A lot of energy around this. So I would say to you, this is Adele, I would sit in silence and in meditation, because these courses cost money and you want to use your money wisely, right? This is a energy card that's a go for it card. All of the wands, for anyone who's reading the tarot, so Jennifer, I know you are, and everyone else who's got their deck handy, the 8 of wands and all of the wands are action cards. So it's not an ace, which would be like, yes, opportunity, wonderful. But you have energy behind this card that says you'd be rushing. If you did it, you'd be rushing into something. And it's not a rushing that doesn't feel like it's a hurried rushing, but it's almost like there'd be an energy rush. Does that make sense? And if you believe this is going to help you, then, this is like a positive card saying yes, right? So if we were to say, what if you don't do this course? You've got options. You've got yes and no, right? What if you don't do this course? Well, this is the Knight of Swords. Now, the Knight of Swords is doing pretty much what this is doing. This is a rush of action. This is a rush of thinking, right? So it seems like you want to be doing this course, and if you didn't do it, right, this is the card for not doing it, you'd still be thinking about doing it. So if you don't do it now, you're probably going to keep thinking about doing it. Now, is that your guidance telling you, or is that your mind telling you? So is it guidance or is it mind? So I get that it's guidance, see? So this was the card for guidance, and this is the card for mind. So we still have the one question, and we're still pulling cards for that one question. So your guidance says, this is guide. Why do I say that guidance is telling you to do it? Because in this card, you have you in the world, successful, which is the wreath, and you have your eagle, your angel, and your 2 earthly guides, that keep you grounded. And these are the spirit guides, and these are the earthly guides. And so you're being guided very strongly to do it. So the energy is there for it. And if you didn't do it, you'd still be thinking about doing it. And this is the mind. So what the mind does is it keeps you in 2. Here's this man who appears to be walking forward but's looking backward. That's what the mind does. The mind will always be split. That's why you want to tap into the intuition, tap into the guidance. And to do that, you need to get super, super quiet. Super, super quiet. We need to slow down. Now, I usually keep the pace running in here because I want to get to everybody's question and I want to keep the energy up and high. But during those times that we've done the guided meditations, we've gone really deep and we've had some really cool experiences. So tonight we're going to study the Emperor, who is number 5 in the tarot. We're going to talk about the number 5 and how important that is. I'm very excited. So Adele, thank you for your question. I'm just going to make sure I put you down here so that I keep a tally of everybody. And where are we? Today's 8 plus 7, 15th. Woohoo. Oh, no, that was last week, the 15th. We're already on the 22nd. I missed last week. I didn't tabulate everybody. Thank you. Adele, wonderful. Marlene and Mary, welcome. And Kay, welcome. Everybody. Fran Shelley, superb. Can I give everybody, it's Georgia Marantos at gmail.com for PayPal and Zelle, and georgiamarantos.com/shop. And then you look for the $10 live card reading. So wonderful. I do believe, Shelley, that you've got the next question, right? So Mary, I will look for it. I'll look in my spam, but email me again to make extra sure. And I do think I have your email. I think you may have paid through my website. And if you pay on my website, I think it asks for your email address. And I can also look for it. I can also look for it there, and then we can communicate via Gmail. Yes. And so, Mary, my email address is georgiamarantos@gmail.com. Wonderful. Shelley Marlowe. Rachel is great, I asked. So I don't know. Are you having... Hi, Georgia. I'm on the fence about a Karnak. Oh, that's Shelley. Oh, my goodness. You know what I've done? I have mixed... what I have done, this is so funny. This is the first time I've done this. I have mixed two people's questions. So what I've done is I've taken Adele's question, so Adele, I'm going to start right at the beginning again. So I mixed Shelley's question with your energy. I've never done that before. Please excuse me. So we're going to wipe the slate clean, and we're going to come back to Adele, who is... So forget everything I said. We're going to come back to center. And Adele, you're thinking about doing something in the next few days, but unsure if your ego is telling you to do it or if you're being guided to do it. All right, Adele. Now, this will be interesting to see, won't it? Because I trust spirit, and because I thought that it was Adele, and I was connecting to you, Adele. I wasn't connecting to Shelley's question. I was connecting to Shelley's question, but I was connecting to Adele. So it would be really interesting now for me to see what the cards are going to reveal as I'm now asking a different question specifically for you. But because you were wondering, should I do it or should I not do it, I'd be interested to see, will we get the same cards? I mean, I'm fascinated because you know, spirit has a way of, you know, making sure that the answer is being delivered, even if I'm not getting it. Like, you know, if I sometimes find myself just saying things stream of consciousness, then it's making much more sense to the person who's listening than to me who's actually receiving it. All right, here we go. It must be sunstroke or something. This week I've seen way too much sun. All right. So Adele, I'm going to focus on Adele. And your question about doing something in the next few days. Unsure if it's your ego. So the question really is it my ego or is it my guidance system that's telling me to do this? So Adele, let's have a look. Is it your ego? Because we're doing a yes and no around the ego. And is it your guidance system? Wow. Okay. Check this out. So I was connecting to Shelley all along because I got the opposite. So Adele, in connecting with your question about doing something in the next few days, but unsure if it's my ego telling me to do it or if it's my guidance, this is ego. Is it my ego telling me to do it? We got a yes. So this is the opposite to the question that I had answered, thinking it was you, but it was Shelley's question. So potentially that answer was for Shelley and not for you. This is the answer to your question. So the card that is an ace is always a yes. I've never had, an upside down ace would be a no, but an upright ace is always a yes. And that's if once I set that pattern, it's a bit like, have you ever divined or done any readings with a pendulum? Once you set the intention with your pendulum, you stick with that and you always stay there. Otherwise, you get confused, right? So I never confuse my readings by changing how I feel about cards. Once they're one thing, I stick with that and then I add to that. So when I started learning how to read the cards, I was just adding and adding and adding. Every reading I did just added more and more and more. And so they tell a story. So these are always a yes. So yes, it's coming from your ego. So there must be something in it for your ego to be telling you, you know, there's something for us to gain here, right? And is it your guidance? Well, I got a no, right? So this is a no in general. So let's have a look at your guidance. And I just want to get All right. So there's a lot of emotion involved around the action. So this is what I'm getting. This is the backstory, right? Why would you be asking this question? Because it's the emotion that's coloring your intuition. And so what would you do? What should you do, right? How do you get the clarity behind your question for yourself as opposed to relying on what I'm receiving? Here's spirit. Here's spirit. And spirit wants to talk with you. Spirit wants to communicate with you. Spirit is giving you this cup. And are you sitting in meditation, and are you getting quiet enough? Because that's all we need to do. We just need to get quiet enough. And this one, I believe, is the card, because remember the Buddha sat under the Bodhi tree, and the Buddha was the one that sat in contemplation of all that was happening for him. And so here, as you're contemplating, remain open, ask the question, and then wait, right? So what if we change the question? Should you do the thing? Right? Should you do the thing? Should you not do the thing? Either way, there's work in it for you, Adele. So what these cards are telling me is that there's some kind of, I don't know, some kind of either power play, or maybe it's got to do with money. I don't know. But whatever it is that you're thinking about doing, whether you do it or you don't do it, there's something in it that you need to resolve. So here there are thoughts that you need to resolve if you don't do it, because you're going to be thinking, oh, well, if I'm not going to do it, then I need to kind of, all of these thoughts are going to come up, and there's going to be some kind of worry. And if you do it, well, maybe there's money involved, and this is an issue. So you can get any feedback is helpful, because oh, wonderful, Mary, you just paid for a reading. I'm going to put you here. Adele says, I was thinking that you'd mix them up. Yeah, I did, big time. All right, so Shelley's here and Mary's here. Wonderful. Shelley. Oh, and Shelley, you said, who is this for? So it was really not clear. Oh, so funny. So does that make sense to you, Adele? The information that's come through, the best thing for you to do is actually to sit in meditation, because what I'm getting right now is that either way, you're going to have to sort something out. And the fives, as we're going to learn tonight, the 5 is the Hierophant, and here's the kind of the 5 is the challenge, right? When you get a 5, it's like you need to come up to the next level. So our thoughts and our mind create all of our challenges, all of them. With thoughts, we create the world. I mean, I feel like for me, that's my launching pad into my life on a daily basis. And I can hear myself how I create negativity, right? I create it through my thinking. And we create our own misery. And so here, what we want to do is we want to make sure that you're not creating your own difficulty along this path. Should you do the thing, right? Should you do the thing? Who's telling you to do the thing, right? It's my mind telling me to do the thing. If you want to know what your heart is telling you to do, you need to meditate. And this is the woman who meditates. This is the woman that takes you up into your Akashic records. Go into your Akashic records. If you go into my High Priestess video, my live video from maybe, I think it was in July, end of July, and you can search maybe georgiamarantos and High Priestess in my YouTube channel, you're going to find it. I'm working on with a videographer, video editor, on making short videos of these mini tutorials at the end of my lives. And so that will be coming. But on the High Priestess, we do a guided meditation, and you go up to meet with the High Priestess and you have a look at your Akashic records. And when we did that, we spent time looking at whatever we wanted to look at, right? And then we also had exchanged a gift with the High Priestess. So the answer is to sit and meditate with yourself. And to do that, it helps you get out of your emotion. And she's the one that will help you get out of your emotion. All right, let's move on. Thank you so much, everybody. Shelley, you're next. And now that I have good boundaries around the 2 questions, I'm going to answer your question, Shelley, clearly. That card just popped out. Always look at the ones that pop out. So here's the Emperor from last week, who's just made a Remember, this is the most passionate guy in the whole deck. Nobody gets more passionate than him. Big Aries guy who wants to kind of ram everything, fix everything, build everything. He's a busy, busy guy. And he's also got the world in his hands. So that's a great card for you, Shelley. Lots of good things are happening for you. And you're also in your throat chakra. So, you know, he's wearing blue, but I just got hit by the blue on his right hand. And are you thinking about the Karnak initiations with respects to this area, i.e. wanting to bring out that capacity for you to speak to many? Not that you have any difficulty, because you already do that with your, you know, as an author and having written the books. And everybody, please get onto Shelley's page. Shelley, do you have a public page? How can people find you and the books that you've written? If they wanted to buy them, let people know. Because she's a highly acclaimed author and she's about to release another book. So here we go. Shelley's question is, should I do I'm thinking about the Karnak initiations, doing the Karnak initiations tomorrow. Should I do them? Would it be helpful? Do you have a vibe about it? So let's have a look. Justice. You reap what you sow. So the Justice card is clearly you have a choice. So you can do it or you can't do it. But the Justice card comes up to say, well, what is it that you want to achieve? And it's interesting that this card fell out and I started talking about your throat chakra. So throat is all about communication, all about using our capacity here and now to influence not just ourselves but others. So when we speak, so the throat chakra is also about manifestation. And because when we speak, we manifest that which we speak. So, you know, in the Bible, God said, let there be light, and there was light. So that spoken word is very important. And because you are going to be speaking publicly, you've written a book, the words in the book, you know, they're almost magical in that when they're spoken, they create imagery for people who read them. In the very same way, it feels like there will be benefit for you around your throat chakra if you did the Karnak initiation. And the reason I'm saying that is because this card, you know, you've got Lady Justice with her sword of truth. And you've got her again. It's a very hot and passionate picture, isn't it? There are only three colors here. There's yellow, red, and green. The green on her shoulders, which is very... Oh, I'm going to disappear here. There she is. She's come into view. She's got a beautiful aquamarine gem in her crown and a beautiful, if you can see it, a beautiful shell as a brooch on her shawl. And that's pretty much the only colors, and the rest of the sword and the balance of the Libra scale. So this is the Libra air sign, right? So Justice is the air sign. So the one thing about her that I would say, in addition to what I've already said, is that once you come into the point where you need her help, what you're looking is at what is it that you want to create? Because if doing this course is going to sow the seeds for you to increase your capacity to speak to many more people and influence them with your vibration, right? Then if obviously you're asking yourself this question, if I'm going to do that. So if it's going to be useful to you, then do it, right? That's the vibration I'm getting. What's my vibe about it? My vibration is that it could help you. It could help your throat chakra. It would help this sense of being able to speak to many because you're already on that platform. Might give you that confidence and capacity. And if that's in alignment with what it is that you want to achieve for yourself, then there's assured success, because once the Justice card says we reap what we sow. And if you're sowing these seeds of, you know, raising your energy's vibration and bringing it into the vibration of the Great White Brotherhood, which is what this Karnak initiation is. And for anybody who wants to know more about it, speak to Shelley or contact Sandra Shea, and you can find her on Facebook, and she'll tell you more about it. So the Great White Brotherhood is like all masters and archangels who are holding a vibration for us on Earth and helping the Earth heal. And for anybody who wants to heal, we can tap into their vibration. But if you become a member of this brotherhood, then you're holding vibration with them. And I've done the Karnak initiation, so I can appreciate the sense of that comes through my body system, particularly when I did the initiation. So there we go. We separated them clearly. I hope that's a clear enough message. Shelley says, thank you. Wonderful. Adele says, that was great, Georgia. Thank you so much. At first, I didn't know you had mixed the question up, and I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. How come she thinks there's a course involved? I know, because I was confused. I had sunstroke. Oh, Shelley has given us her Instagram at Shellology. I love that. Shellology. So in Greek, ology means spoken, right? Logo, which is the word. It's also the written word and the spoken word. Oh, I'm just getting really good feelings for, your throat chakra, Shelley. So whether you do it, let's have a look. Could you do, this is a good question, right? Because the Karnak initiations do cost a lot of money. And I'm not against, clearly, me personally, I'd be like, sure, go for it. Here, the vibration is coming through spirit and the energy is coming through spirit saying, yes, you have this choice. So if we were to say, now I forgot the question I was going to ask, but now if we were to say, well, what will come through the Karnak initiation, right? What will happen if you get this initiation? What will happen? I'll pick 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. These are great cards, right? So okay, in the deck, there's only 2 cards where you have these big red winged angels. Here is this crazy gorgeous archangel that's got this wildfire hair and these big, and then you have this lion, right? This courage and these airs. So there's something about this initiation that's going to give you this courage. And it will also give you the capacity to go international. Because see, he's holding the world in his hands. And not only that, there's 2 wands. There's 2 people and there's 2 people here in the Lovers. So your choices will increase. Somehow your vibration will increase if you do the initiation, and you will have more choices, and your connection to spirit, which is already great, will increase, right? So this is what's going to happen if you do the initiation, which is nice to know, right? There's clearly a lot in it for you. And wonderful. And that's what I want, courage. Oh, my Lord. So here comes the magic. Here comes how we can use tarot for magic. You want to pull this card out, Shelley, right? This is your card for courage, and the strength card. You know which one I'm talking about because you read the tarot yourself. And I had an incredible reading with Shelley many years ago. Too long ago, Shelley. I can't wait for us to hang out and have a cup of tea together again. The strength card. So I would put these 2 up on your fridge, and maybe even the Emperor, right? Because this guy's not afraid of anything. He's not. He's just not. And so you have the strength where she's literally touching this lion, and there's so much love and success. The wreath is on her. You can be successful, and you can quell those fears if there are any. And you have the energy of this guy who can literally do anything, completely fearless, absolutely fearless, just has a string of successes behind him. And this card with the lion of courage, right? I put these up on your fridge. And this would be these are your magical talismans that remind you to be courageous and to bring that courage in. You know what gives you courage? When you feel that you're not alone, isn't it? When you feel that you have, and especially when you're connecting with guidance that sometimes you don't connect with all the time. So connecting with angels or connecting with your spirit guides. And when we actually do it, when we remember to do it, it makes us feel like we're not alone. And they really are present. So there are people who can see them, and these are the people that we sometimes go to see. You yourself could see them. I know you're clairvoyant and clairaudient and could effortlessly see them. So when we remember to tap into them, we're not alone. And that helps give you courage, right, to do it forward. I'm not alone. If I ask for help, it'll be here. And then there's that trust and faith. Wonderful. You're welcome. So Adele says, and I was trying to trust it and thought that there was something in it that made sense. This was a great experience. Wonderful. So yes, Adele, yes, you were trusting that the push to to go ahead and do it was your guidance, but you weren't sure, right? That's the question. And here we go. All right. So friends, Kay, let me know if you've put up for a question. Let me know if you've paid. So I think Mary, did you tell me that you paid? And oh, can you give me the email address? Here we go. Finally got home. Congratulations on your subscribers. I'm now trying to see who is my next. Oh, here she is. Mary has paid for a reading. Mary, give me a question. Let me know what you want to ask. Arby, hello, how are you? Thank you very much. If you want, so hey, Marlene, you've donated. Wonderful. Okay, so we've got Mary and Marlene. So Mary, let me know what your question is. And then Marlene, you're next. So I'm going to mix up the cards here tonight. We're going to be talking about the Hierophant. Did I say Emperor earlier? Wow, this sunstroke really must have hit good. So the Hierophant, no, I think I said the Hierophant. He's number 5, right? But the Emperor just made an entrance, and he's a bit like that because most Aries guys fill up the room with their presence, right? Because they're sort of usually they're very attractive looking men, have a lot of charisma. Mary, something is telling me that it doesn't have to be this way, meaning it can be better. Meaning life at the moment. Is that what you mean? Absolutely. That's your intuition. That's your heart. Because your heart is always saying everything is always all right and everything is always working out for me. Everything, I have the resources of the universe at my call and will. And all I have to do is tap into that. I don't know what to do with this, how not to mess it up. So something is telling me that it doesn't have to be this way, meaning it can be better. So let's have a look at the question. What would the question be, Mary? Because I like to be specific in my question so that I can get a clear answer. Here we go. This how not to mess it up. So we're going to have a look at the mess. What is the mess? It doesn't have to be this way. What is it that's this way? So let's have a look at what is this way. Let's have a look at what you're talking about, this thing. So you're undecided about something. There's something that you're in two minds about, right? No, it doesn't have to be this way. You can get clarity. So if it's clarity that you're looking for, if it's clarity around a particular issue that you're looking for, what helps is to actually have a look at the issue. It's good to have a look at the thing that you're not sure about, because once you look at the thing and you break it up into its little pieces, then it's easier to manage. Is it not? Is it not easier to say, okay, so that bit belongs to that person, that bit belongs to me, that's the bit I can control, and that bit belongs to just chance and accident or something, right? It seemed almost like a voice, and I don't know how to work with it. So, Mary, are you talking about your intuition? Because now I'm a little confused. So, let me know what your question is. Something is telling me that it doesn't have to be this way, meaning it can be better. I don't know what to do with this and how not to mess it up. So are you asking a question about your intuition? You said, I don't know. You don't know how to work with it. Whose mess? Is this your mess? Is this somebody else's mess? Mary? Is this something that you're involved with? Because I've got here, your mind is in two minds. So when we're undecided or when our mind is in two minds, then you just create more confusion, which is I don't know. It's about your life in general, about my mess. Thank you. That's helpful. So then why don't I do a spread on your life in general? Let's do a past, present, future. Absolutely fantastic when you're looking at something in general, okay? So we know that there's I don't know-ness, because this is literally the card of I don't know. Right? Am I going this way or am I going that way? It's a bit like the 7 of Swords. Remember that guy who was like walking in one direction but looking backwards? This guy is leaning in one direction but looking backwards. And then there are all these birds around his head. All these thoughts are in here and I'm not quite sure what to do. And I'm just inexperienced in this. And so we're going to do a past, present, future about this life that feels like a mess at the moment. Right? And it's I live in a mess, right? We have young kids and they're, and I just can't sort of constantly pick up after them. So it sometimes feels like a mess, a physical mess. But when you start in one corner and you just keep going and you do one little bit at a time, then and it's exactly the same with life. If we look at just one thing at a time, then we can actually find clarity and sort it out. So we're going to do that, Mary. We're going to do that here and now. Let's have a look. past, present, future popped out. Now, because we're talking about life in general, I'm going to use these cards as, we're going to talk specifically about that. So here is the Two of Wands. This is the past. So here you were clearly, this is not messy, clearly here. But however, what we have here is that you weren't really deep. You were kind of behind a fence, right? And things were, you were looking at going out. And maybe this is the whole lockdown period, right? So we've gone back maybe 3 months into that sort of coronavirus lockdown period where you're thinking about, what am I going to be doing? I'm looking into the world. I'm looking into and I'm thinking about what to do, because remember, the wands are action. And actually here, I'm going to ask anybody else who is learning the tarot, I want you to choose a card for Mary. Mary, are you open to that? Let me know, because we're going to choose a card and we're going to give you some uplifting, inspiring messages from all of our other readers tonight, right? So this is how we help each other. We pick our cards. So Jennifer and anyone else who has their cards handy, wonderful. She says, yes, I am. So get your cards ready. I want you to choose one card for her that's an inspiring message that would be in relation to how can she help get clarity around this mess? How can what looks like her life, that feels like a mess at the moment, how can she clear it up? How can she move into a better feeling state, right? So what we've got here for the present is that there's a lot going on. Would I be right to say that? Because your life at present feels complicated because there's just too much energy. So you've either got, so we have three things. What happens in our life? We have family, we have relationships, we have career and finances, and, we're not really doing much else, socializing with our friends, etc., and our health, right? So there's a kind of like 5 things that we normally do. So let's have a look at all 3 of those. Let's have a look at 5 of those. Essentially, it's 3. Relationships, career, finances. Relationships is in family as well. Hey, Amy, how are you? Good to see you. So we have family, we have personal relationships, we have career, we have and finances around career, and we have health, right? No. I've got to say, Mary, I don't have any cards that tell me anything, career, finances. No, we had family, personal relationships. So out of all these cards, now when I pull the cards, I'm looking for cards to tell me a story. Now, all of these cards about career, finances, and health, they're all good. So I don't have the mess happening in these sections. This is health. This is, career and finances. So everything looks good here, right? Now, if I look here, I've got sort of family relationships and personal relationships. So, Mary, I've got the family relationships, which is probably something that we may have talked about before, but I don't remember the details. Well, this is about your brothers. So if that's not the case, just forget it. But I have forgotten the details. But what we've got is the Lady Justice here. Now, we talked about Lady Justice before, and let me tell you why it's different now, because the energy that I'm getting at is that there's anger. Red can be a feeling of, and also red is the color of our root chakra. It's the chakra that kind of grounds us. So when we're grounded, when we feel like we're supported, we're grounded when we feel like we're with our tribe, we're grounded when we feel that we're in the right place at the right time, right? And nature and our connection to nature. So this color red tells me that there's something about those sort of elements that are out of whack, because there's a lot of red in this card. And the other thing about this card, right? Amazing to remember. Thank you so much. No, I think if we are, and this is where it all is, because this is the family card, isn't it? Whereas personal relationships, you're going into a period of healing. And so I think these 2 things are related. This is a card of healing, and this is the card that says, Mary, if you can find a way see, I don't know if you believe in past lives, and in fact I was talking with someone about that today. If you believe in the fact that, well, I can't say the fact because I'm not tapping into people who are, leaving their lives. So it has to be a belief or a remembering, right? For some people, for those who've had near-death experiences, they physically die. They know they've physically died, and then they go into another realm, and then they see that the soul continues to live, right? And that there's a passageway to then completely leave the connection to this body that's on earth, this physical body. And they have that experience and they come back to tell us. And there's thousands upon thousands of people that have done that. And you can look up near-death experiences on YouTube, and you get so many people who are giving you their one-on-one experience of that. So the reason I say that is because if you believe in experiences, this is the card of karma, not in a negative way. It means that this experience that you're experiencing within your family that is ungrounding you, and it's ungrounding you because it's brought confusion in. I just don't know what to do with it, is what you're saying, right? And we're going to pull cards to say, this is what you do with it. And it would behoove you to actually have a longer reading, because then we could spend time on saying, well, how do you deal with it? What's the best way for you to put that in compartmentalize this in some way and start looking at it in a way that is good for you, as opposed to feeling the pain of it. So this is one way. Right? This is one way, if you believe in past lives. So this thing that's happening in this life has come about to balance itself from another experience that you had with these three people in another life. Now, in your previous life with them, if you do any past life work or any hypnotic regression work, or even in neuro-linguistic programming, there's a type of therapy called timeline therapy. And I do practice neuro-linguistic programming. And in that programming, in that timeline, you can go back and revisit lives to find where this anger came from, where this negative emotion came from. Where did it come from? Why is it there? It makes no sense in this lifetime for you. And so it might, right? You could go back into your childhood. We don't remember every part. I mean, some people do, but I certainly haven't had that experience of remember everything in my childhood. But if you do remember, you might go back in and remember, and this would be helpful for you, right? It's helpful for you to actually think about the fact that this is me coming back to balance this relationship out with them. And as this is unfolding, it's better if I just allow it to unfold, as opposed to reacting in ways that would make it worse. So if you were to go into reaction, then it would propel this difficulty to continue, because your reaction puts you into a place of creating more of the same vibration. So if you were to sit back, get the healing that you need, right? Which is work on your emotions, work on your thoughts, work on your capacity to be here right now, and ground, right? Ground. This woman is naked and she is grounded in nature. And in fact, she's got 1 foot in water and 1 foot on the ground. So the two elements that you want to work on: have many showers, get into the ocean, and ground. Spend as much time in nature as you can. Obviously, you're going to keep yourself safe, and around ticks and things you want to spray, make sure that you're safe. And you're not going to be naked unless you're, happy enough to be that way. But this sense of grounding, so you can actually go in meditation and ground. Imagine that you're a tree and root yourself to the earth. I'm now going to open it up for other people who've been. So Mary says, I'm sorry, this was too much to ask of you in this setting. Not at all. So you don't need to apologize at all, because we're answering questions, right? It's a one question. We just needed to clarify it. And I'm really glad that we got to clarify it, because once you have the clarity of the question, then you have the clarity, the potential clarity for the answers. And I feel that we have it. I feel that we got it. Don't you? I feel that we got that. This is the healing that needs to come through for you. And so if we were to say, all right, what's the one best thing that you can do? You've got the healing, you've got the grounding, you've got the capacity, the knowing that the reason that it's happening is because it needs to balance itself out, and I need to let it be, right? I need to let it be. Every time I hook into the conversation, I remember that, the message or the text or whatever was sent, you're hooking back in to being in the polarization, in the me versus them. And that's painful. So what you're better off doing is working on yourself so that you can go into a calm and sort of rested state, so that when you're calm and rested, you're going to be pulling in more of the calm, rested state. Because if you're constantly on edge, you're pulling more of that in. So your best bet, let's have a look. Let's see what the cards say, because this is the information that's coming through. Here we go. Right. It's time for you. It's time to change. I think you may have even gotten this card last time, the Wheel of Fortune. I think it's time for you to start doing things differently. And look at all this guidance. You wouldn't be here tonight looking at this kind of people are doing, but you can control how you react. And I think this is probably one of the most powerful messages in your reading tonight, that the confusion is a place of not knowing what to do, but you actually do know what to do if you come back into this space and you say, okay, I need to help myself. You can't, confusion is created because you're thinking about what you can change about them, but you need to come back to you and say, I can't change anything about what they're doing. I need to deal with me and how I can get myself into a calm, peaceful state. Or you just lost my video. So Mary said, I didn't expect this to come up about them. I just made an overture to them, though. So I guess you picked up on that. So Mary, yeah, it may just be that the energy of them is an example of the confusion. So I'm using them as an example, but if there's anything else, then so if we were in a one-on-one, then I would say, what is creating the mess? And then we would look straight into that. We wouldn't waste any time at all sort of talking generally. We would just jump straight in. But what's really clear is that you need the healing, right? You need to bring the healing onto yourself. That's the healing card. And you need to change the way that you're reacting to things in your life. So where you're looking and you're finding confusion, come back to yourself. There has to be a sense of grounding yourself in a way that you don't want to ground yourself in confusion. So when we spend a lot of time in confusion, we're anchoring that feeling. We're kind of grounding in confusion, and that's not good for you, right? So you want to find clarity. And to find clarity, you have to stop. You have to rest. You have to give yourself healing, right? And this card, if it's not the situation with your brothers, then it's actually about reaping the rewards, which is what I was talking about earlier. So if you're going to move forward and you say, okay, I'm going to start working on myself. And in working on myself, I'm going to bring to me the healing and the good things that I want. So it'll bring you the clarity. So there are energy healing systems like the Rising Star Healing System, which I have up on my website. So what that does is it actually opens your chakras, clears out all the sort of, confusion and dust and toxins that we pick up from the physical world, as well as our emotional world, our psychological world. It clears it up, and then it fills the chakras full of light. And that is something that connects to the brotherhood, the Great White Brotherhood, because it is the masters, sort of Master Jesus, the Master Hilarion, who are actually holding the lineage. So these ascended masters are holding the energy of this lineage, and they're creating the healing energy to come through. Master Hilarion is an ascended master. You can look him up on YouTube. You can look him up on Google, and information about him came through. I think it was the turn of last century with Madame Blavatsky and the Theosophists, because they were channeling these ascended masters. So you can read about Master Hilarion, and I think she was channeling Kuthumi, but Master Hilarion was another one who came through, and there are all these pictures. So the reason I talk about the energy healing is because you've got the big healing card, right, coming through. So I do believe that finding someone to do a healing with, even a Reiki healing, one which works on those chakras, will help you feel better and bring clarity into your mind and into your life. So that's one step. That could be your first step, right? Having a longer reading would help to create far more clarity. And, we could do a lot more, particularly around the specifics of what you were talking about when you meant mess in life. But I think the cards are here saying, to definitely find a way to ground and to do a healing, bring a healing into your life. So find a healing practitioner to do that with you. Mary says, I'm glad this is recorded. My video just went out and you were giving me the message. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And you could, we're going to email one another, so I'll definitely repeat what I said. Wonderful. And Mary says, I can't even express how much I appreciate this, and I'll think over everything you said. Oh, that's wonderful, Mary. Thank you so much. Marlene, you're next. Did you put down your question? Where are we, Marlene? So, hey. Just let me know what your question is, and we are going to answer your question right now because you're next. And Amy, sure, you can get a card too. Before you fall asleep. You fell asleep before I started. Oh, it's late over there. Amy's in Ireland, and I think it's literally midnight right now, and she has a little babe, and I'm sure you're up super early. Oh, super. Marlene's here. The question is for my husband. He's been having problems at work with another co-worker to the point where he's thinking about looking for another job. On any clarity on that situation? Absolutely. Let's have a look at your husband. All right. So I'm connecting with you, Marlene, and what we're doing is because you and your husband work together, right? Sorry, you and your husband live together, then we can look at his work because you and he share the same vibration, and his vibration and his concerns, which he'd be bringing home to you and you'd be talking about, is sitting in the air. But I did want to reach out to any of our friends, anyone who had a card for Mary, please let me know. Please just start writing if you pulled a card for her. If you're reading the tarot and you're practicing and you wanted to give her the message, please do. Please let us know. Now, this is for Marlene. Marlene, we're looking at your husband. So I'm going to pull one for your husband. Oh, 2 cards want to come out for him. All right. So, this is a wonderful, happy marriage. He's actually quite a creative guy, and he loves what he does, actually. And he's very good at what he does. I kind of see somebody who's adjusting their glasses and kind of, I don't know what kind of work it is, if it's technological work. It's very creative. And so here he is, and we're going to have a look at him at work. So he is wanting to find another job. That's interesting because this is a movement card, right? So he's looking at the horizon. There may be more than just that reason as to why he would want to move, from that job. I'm going to put the co-worker in. Okay, here's this co-worker. That's interesting. So is this co-worker actually on the same team with him? Because it feels like they're kind of shoulder to shoulder all the time. So the co-worker has a really tough energy, I must admit. So, it's like he's a hard nut. He's constantly sort of criticizing, constantly sort of saying, oh, don't do it like this. Or it feels like every time your husband's doing something, he's whacking him on the fingers. And your husband's disappointed by that. And it is a very difficult energy to kind of go in every day and then be at the sort of foot of that and have to deal with that, because it prevents your creative flow. So if someone's constantly criticizing, or even if there's critical energy around, it prevents creativity. It kind of blocks us down, right? That's why, they do similar jobs, right? So because these two people appear to be equal, right? They appear equal. And there's one louder than the other. And I think that's your co-worker, your husband's co-worker, who is louder than him. So let's have a look at what we can do to help he feels like he's being forced to. Yeah, he's definitely looking. So we've already got that your husband's looking. Now, let's have a look at how he can deal with this coworker. Is there anything that he can do at work now that would help him deal with this coworker? Oh, this is an interesting question. This is an interesting answer to the question, because what you've got somebody rushing forward. So is there somebody he can talk to who's a senior, who's above this co-worker, who can help him? Because this is a card of communication. This is a sword, and this is, intellect and thought, but also communication. And this card is mostly blue, so I think of the throat chakra and communication. Is there someone he can talk to about what's going on? Because it's clear that he's very passionate about what's going on, as you would be if you're having difficulty with someone who's being extremely difficult, right? Can he talk about somebody? Can he talk about it with somebody? I get that he can. Yes. So you've got your husband communicating with others. Because there's a 3, there's a third person. So let's have a look at this older lady then. I know she doesn't really want to know, but what you've got is the sense of, she's a hard worker. She wants her people to be working hard, and she needs to know in some ways that there's someone who's preventing, another person from working hard. Can he do it? Will he be okay with it? Well, so there's something in your husband's energy that's saying he doesn't feel like he can talk to her or that he can bring it up with her. So there's something preventing him from bringing it up, right? Maybe something that she's said to him in the past, like sort it out yourselves, right? And then we get the 8 of Wands. This situation is picking up speed. What I'm getting is that, in a couple of months, it's going to be really clear whether he's going to stay or go. And because this is an energy card, this is an action card, these 2 cards together are very, very fast cards. You've got big energy coming at, moving through this whole sort of situation. So, what you've got is your husband either has the opportunity to speak about it, and if he doesn't, the energy is just going to fly. So either something will happen in 2 months and it's just going to become very clear that, okay, I'm going to leave. He may find another business. He may find another job where he's actually doing the same work. Or, this is interesting because I asked, will he leave? Will he find a new job? There is another opportunity there for him. So it's not like he's looking and he can't find a job. He will very likely, if he wants to, effortlessly find a job, because this is a very positive card. This is him meeting, in a business partnership, this is him meeting someone else who's on equal ground that he can work with, right? Now, if he was to bring it up to his boss lady, it's good for her to know the truth. She's got an employee that's creating problems for everybody. She needs to know, right? So the truth will set him free. It'll set him free from the frustration and anger that he's feeling, right? And it might also help him deal with the emotions, whether he stays or goes. I hope that's helpful, Marlene. If your husband was here, he'd be like, well, I can't do that. Just not going to happen, right? He might be able to say, I just can't see myself doing that. But he has a choice. He has a choice. Whether he says, has he actually brought it up to her before? I've got this, there's something in this for him and the way he is with his mother, right? And I don't know if he's been able to sort of speak up to his mum, but there's something in it in his life story. So the reason I say that is because the High Priestess tells us what we have lived before this very moment. She gets us looking into our Akashic records, into our past lifetimes. So there's something in his experience obviously with this person, but also why is he not bringing it up? So if he can bring it up or if he can't bring it up, there's something in it for him about how he was able to bring things up with his parent, right? And that's influencing this situation. Julie, hello. What can your cards tell me about my future husband? Many thanks. So, Julie, we're taking $10 for a reading. If you wanted to, I can put it's PayPal and Zelle, georgiamarantos @gmail.com. And also on my website, you just go to the shop, right? georgiamarantos /shop and .com. So Marlene says he feels she'll take his co-worker's side. Yeah, that's the fear, right? The fear is stopping him from doing it. That's what she's talking about. But he doesn't have anything to lose. If he's already thinking about leaving this job and he's already walking out the door, then what does he have to lose out of telling the truth? So once you tell the truth, you're free, because the truth sets him free, right? And so what he wants to look at, because it's an issue that will follow him to every job, is why isn't he bringing up this difficulty with his boss, who needs to know that there's someone who's working, who's actually, preventing productivity. So if I was the boss, I'd want to know who it is that's creating difficulty. So if you then have two workers who are then saying, well, no, he's doing it, and no, he's doing it, and no, he's doing it, and he's doing it, then you're just left with, well, I don't really know. Let me have a look at the productivity. Let me put you both on some kind of watchmanship. Let me see. So if he's afraid that she's going to take his side, he has nothing to lose by speaking the truth, right? And so whether she goes to believe both of them, or whether she goes to not believe either of them, but if she trusts the co-worker, he's still in the same spot of it's time to leave. How can you work in a place where you're not trusted or where you're not believed, right? Isn't that the workplace? Mary, thank you so much. I'll email you, and make sure you've emailed me. I should have said something that I shouldn't have said. Oh, please, Mary, don't give yourself a hard time. Let me tell you something. Part of that question of yours has some of that energy in it. And I want you to be easy on yourself, because we're the ones that are responsible for our own well-being. And you've done nothing wrong. Absolutely not. And it's a fantastic question. And I'm sorry that I didn't have my other friends who are reading to pick up on some cards. So Daisy Moon says, you're on the Byron Bay Lighthouse Walk right now. Woohoo! Daisy's in Australia, and we are getting Byron Bay energy right now. Oh, thank God. I love Byron Bay. Daisy, I will be back there one day. We will be singing to our babies in the river. Our babies will be in the river splashing around. Oh, that's wonderful. Marlene says, yes, so true. Super. Yeah, Mary, let's have an email chat. Okay. Does anyone have any other questions? Because I think we've gotten them all. Adele, Shelley, Mary, and Marlene. Amy, did you so I don't know if you, and I may have lost you. You may have gone to sleep. But, Amy, I'm going to pick a card now because we've only got 10 minutes. And I wanted to talk about the Hierophant. And I also am giving away 2 readings to celebrate the 100 subscribers that have come onto the YouTube channel. Subscribe, like. If you like this video, then I get pulled into the YouTube algorithm. So before you leave, give my video a like. And if you ever want to share a video, let me know. So it's all helpful. And thank you very much for all your support. Thank you for supporting the Arunachala Animal Sanctuary. I'm now going to pull out the Hierophant, who's a super important guy. I want everyone giving away 2 readings. So I'm going to think of 2 numbers. And 2 people are going to win a free 30-minute reading. So I want you to think of a number between 1 and 25, right? So 1 is included and 25 is included. Oh, thanks, Linda. Thank you for mentioning about liking the video. So everybody, give me your number between 1 and 25. And Mary, I'm sorry if you've already gone, but if you're still here, put in a number between 1 and 25, and somebody's going to win a free 30-minute reading with me. Okay. So I've got my numbers, and now we're going to find the Hierophant. Super important guy. So important. There he is. Awesome. Thank you. Awesome. Keep the numbers coming. So here is the Hierophant. Jen, did you pick a card for Mary earlier? So the Hierophant is here. Now, oh my Lord, the Hierophant is a massive card. Do you remember the cards that we've done so far? We've done the Fool, we've done the Magician, we've done the High Priestess, the Holy Trinity, And this is the lower trinity. Here's the third of the lower trinity. We have the Empress, we have the Emperor, and then we have the Hierophant. The Hierophant means the Pope. And in some decks, and in fact in the original Italian decks, he was called the Pope. Jen says, no, I was folding laundry. Getting practical. Oh, I love that. So the Hierophant is a priest, right? He appears to be, he's dressed up like a priest, right? He's got his crosses on him, and there appear to be two monks or priests in training who are standing before him, and they're clearly in training to be with him. And so this card represents the teacher, right? It represents a teacher and the institution, which is the teacher's institution. So it could represent a school, a college, any kind of institution where any kind of learnings are happening. And then it also represents church, mosque, any kind of religious institution where, there is a, head of this or a leader of this institution who is communing with all the knowledge. So the Hierophant communicates with the High Priestess and the Magician to understand how this world works. So this is a very spiritual card connected to the lineage of the Magician and the High Priestess. So he's on the earth, right? He's an earthbound teacher. The Divine Mother and Father, that is the Magician and the High Priestess, are in spirit, and they're our divine teachers. But this guy is an earth teacher. So he can literally represent a teacher in a classroom, a priest who's a counselor, someone giving a sermon, any kind of religion all across the board. This is who's represented. And it can also represent learning, being in an institution. Hey, everybody's putting in the numbers. Please keep the numbers coming. I forgot to put my numbers down. Hold on. So there are 2 numbers. And so far, we got 1, 2, 3. There's 1. I'm going to keep going. All right. What we're going to do is I'm going to give 1 away here because we've got our winner. Hold on. So the 2 numbers I chose were 6 and 13. So Adele, 13. Woo! Congratulations, Adele. You've won a 30-minute. Yay! And now I'm going to close my eyes, and because nobody got the other number 6, what I'm going to do is I'm going to think of a number between 1 and 7. So I want everybody to put down a number between 1 and 7 who's still listening, and we'll give the second one away. So I want someone to get it. Here it is. All right, that's the next one. So the Hierophant continues. He's very balanced. Look at him. He's balanced. Now, these columns are the same, right, as opposed to the columns that we saw in the High Priestess, who had 1 black, 1 white. So she was teaching about the laws of duality and in the 3 dimension. Now, he's literally an institution. So I'm sitting in my throne, and I'm sitting in this building, right, which is very balanced. So if you're looking for, there are a lot of cards in the tarot where you get a lot of balanced happening. You get that in the Chariot with the 2 sphinxes. You get that in the High Priestess. You get that it was even in the Emperor with with the 2 arms of the chair. He had something in each hand. This guy has these 2 monks who are coming in, and they're learning with him. And so there's symbolism in every part of this. So have a look at his hat. Now have a look at his crown. Let's see if I can get the focus on. There he is. Look at this crown. There are 3 levels to the crown. He's holding a staff. There are 3 spikes, right? 3 spikes to this. And remember, we're now bringing in the energy of the Lord Shiva, right, who has the 3 sparks. And we've got 3 crosses on his lapel, right? And you have 3 people. All right. You also have the Y, which is 3 limbs to this Y. And the repetition of the number 3 in this, even though he's a number 5, the repetition of the number 3 means that he's teaching the teachings of the magician and manifestation. So he holds the keys. The most important part of this card is literally the keys, because when you have traveled with the divine Holy Trinity and then you come into earth and you're being birthed by the mother and the father, and they're organizing, this is the earth mother and father. So as a soul that has come into a body that has been birthed by the earth mother, you now learn from your mother and you learn from your father, who's the earth father, the emperor, and then you meet your teachers. Now your mother, your divine mother and your earth mother and your earth father are also your teachers, but then you start to go to school, don't you? And then you start to learn at school, and your teacher at school holds the knowledge. Well, at least this is the old paradigm, isn't it? Because these cards were made a long time ago. Now we have the internet and you can teach yourself anything. You can teach yourself something that people are learning about and only ever used to learn about in so Colleen got it. Oh, wait. Hey got it, and Colleen got it. Wonderful. Marlene, you were the first one there, and Colleen also got it. So I got number 3 was the second one. Okay. And so what I want you to do, I want Marlene and Colleen to now pick a number between 1 and 5. We're going to narrow it down because we have some time, right? So Marlene, pick a number between 1 and 5. And I'm thinking of that number now. I'm going to put it down. So this is now between Marlene and Colleen. Adele, yes, you've got it coming. So and so you've got him with these keys that are crossed, right? So the crossing of the keys means that he's providing your keys to sacred knowledge, and you have to go through him to get that sacred knowledge. Now, this is a very old paradigm. Remember, there are priests and monks who did their years of sort of learning and studying and communing with the divine and reading the scriptures. And, you know, these are the gurus. These are the rishis. These are the ones that have done the hard work to kind of align themselves to spirit. And so we go to them because we want their blessing, and we also want to connect to source through them. But a lot of that has changed in the last sort of 50 years, 100 years, where, you know, these rishis and these priests, and they're coming out of their institutions and they're making themselves more available. They're over the social media and they're connecting directly with people. And what they're saying is they're saying that the power lies within you to connect to source. So these systems have been breaking down. But whenever you come across an institution, whenever you come across a barrier to your knowledge, this is the card that's kind of like ringing true. Why? So you've got the keys, and then you've got this very passionate red, right? Remember, red is passion. And so this is somebody who loves what they do. And so you can also work off of that and have a look. The only other color outside of the red and the yellow that's here is the blue that's around his throat. See that blue? It's a slash of blue around the throat. And that's the communication. That's the compassion. That's the connection to the divine that's coming through the spoken word, right? And that's something that this, you know, person, this Hierophant, has had the opportunity to do through their practice. So you think of the Hindu religion, where these yogis and these these incredible people that have gone through lifetime after lifetime to learn all of the sacred knowledge and come into their own sort of wisdom and understanding of who we really are, and then transmit that through communication and through action. So this is the guru, the teacher, and we are the ones that sit at their feet. We're at the feet of the teacher, right? And we're learning. This card is about learning. It can't be anything other than learning. This card is all about learning and connecting, right? And is there any barrier to connection? So if you look at this card and you're zooming in on those keys, then you're like, oh, so there's something else I need to know. There's a key that's missing, and I need to find that key to open that door, right? To open that door to spirit. So when somebody's looking, this is a highly spiritual card. So you've got your earth mother, your earth father, and your teacher, who's going to teach you everything that you need to know about being in this life. And you may have experiences with your teacher. The other thing that the Hierophant can mean is that you come across someone in your life and you have an experience with them, and that experience teaches you something. So it doesn't have to be a physical person. It doesn't have to be a priest. It doesn't have to be a teacher. It can be the experience or the illness that has taught you something. So you can see how anything that we experience, we can create a spiritual meaning to. And this is that which gives it spiritual meaning, but also just very sort of day-to-day learning, going to school, sort of someone who's interested in doing a course. If they put this up, then this is the card that says, okay, this is the institution that's providing the course. And I'm going, and if they want a validation that is this course going to be a good course, well, this card comes up and says, yeah, you're going to learn a lot. You're going to get the keys because this guy holds the keys, right? And so you've also got your manifesting. This is a great card for manifestation. And the gold energy means the spiritual energy is coming through. And who is the Hierophant? Who's wearing white, right? So this means that the white, you always look at the colors of the card. You look at what they're holding and the symbols of what they're holding. And you also look at the, let's have a look at what these, and you see he's wearing a blue undercoat. So he's not only got a white shirt on, but he's got a dress or some kind of cape that goes all the way down and is blue. So the energy of blue is healing, is definitely medical, and is trustworthy, right? Because we trust, we self-trust, and we, the word is self-compassion. So this is a compassionate man. And if you look at this, so these two monks are wearing, and I'm trying to get them to, I want to focus in on these guys. Wow, look at that. Wow, look at that. Look at that clarity. Holy cow. I should just hold things up to this camera to get clarity. It's amazing. So, okay, so you have the round moon shape of their heads, which indicates, coming into full circle and coming into the circle of life and understanding the circle of life. But you have here, this one has nature on his, these are big, beautiful leaves. And this one has roses, right? So this one's coming through with passion, and this is coming through with connection. And this is purity. This is purity. And you see he has crosses on his lapel and crosses on his shoes, which means that he's a highly spiritual person and trustworthy, right? And in his right hand, he has this mudra, right? This mudra. And I believe even, there we go. See that? The two fingers up and the two fingers down, which is as above, so below, right? And he's pointing up. Why is he pointing up? So he's pointing up because he's connecting people to spirit, and he's connecting people to, what does the guru do? The teacher points you into the direction of the truth. So the truth, the teacher can't do it for you. So, and that's what this says. There are keys that you need to pick up. You get up the keys of knowledge, and then you gain through your own actions, your experience. So the Hierophant is a wonderful card, and you want to put this up when you want to enhance your spirituality and when you want to, learn new things. And this is the card of learning. This is the card of increasing your spirituality. A Karnak initiation is an example of this, where you're going up a step, right? You're learning new things. You're connecting with a higher guidance and a higher energy vibration. All right. The mudra is like the Jesus mudra. Adele, did you not say that? Because that's what it feels like, the Jesus mudra. Did I say that, or do you basically said what I was thinking? So the mudra is like the Jesus mudra. So if we could find that mudra, because it is as above, so below, right? And there's the three, right? The three. We've got the three of manifestation, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. So, dear friends, we've got the number 2. Colleen, you got it. The number 2. There it is. Congratulations, Colleen, and congratulations, Linda. I'll be, Linda Mitley, hello. I'll be sending you an email to let you know when we can set up the the reading. But my family have come in. Wonderful. Hello. So thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. Thank you for celebrating 100 subscribers to my YouTube channel. Please share the channel. Please let people know if they want to be learning how to read the tarot, if they want a question answered, they can come and pay $10, and 30% of that money is going to a really good cause. They can just join in on the fun. We got people who are reading the tarot with us and people who are open to having the questions. Jennifer says, do you know what the mudra is in the Hierophant? Oh, that's so funny. I didn't see you ask that question, Jen. But yes, that's the mudra, as above, so below. And it is Jesus's. And remember, he's got these three together, right? The Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Congratulations to the two. And I'll be in touch. And wishing everybody a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Thank you so much. Happy weekend. Bye, everybody. Happy end of summer. Have a great night. Bye.